Hey there, so here are 10 financial must-dos to succeed in Canada. I've spent a lot of time, over 6 years in Canada, and here are some things I wish someone actually told me early. Well, you're lucky. I hope you're watching this video at a good time when you can still make some improvements in your financial situation and get that success game going. Hey beautiful people, my name is Janey, aka Janey of Canada, and on this channel I talk about everything life as an immigrant professional. So money matters, careers, education, all of it. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please hit that like, but most importantly, please join the family and subscribe if you're not. And if you are subscribed, what's up? It's good to see you again. The whole hope for this video really is just to talk about things I have learned in my journey here as an immigrant professional in Canada, things I've learned from community, and I just want to bring it to you and just list all the 10 things you should be doing if you're not already doing now. As usual, this is a conversation, it's not an instructional video, so please let's comment in the chat if you agree, disagree, and if there's any points that we haven't listed in this video, please again let me know. By no means is this an exhaustive list. I just want people who haven't started on the journey towards financial success to get on that train. And the whole idea really is all this talk about swindling and getting your money right. It's very important to make sure that you consider these things and not make some of these mistakes to avoid getting swindled, but also that you can put your best foot forward when it comes to building generational wealth, especially as underrepresented immigrants. So the first thing I'm going to say definitely on my list is, and I wish I knew this early, really is to take credit and use it well. What does that mean? I know that because of all the bad, I'll say bad news around having credit card fraud, credit card debt, all of that stuff, a lot of us are very avoidant of taking credit and also even growing credit. So we don't want a credit card, or we don't really use it because, or we just don't want to get in trouble. So I've talked about how to use a credit well, but really in a quick snapshot, if you will, when you have credit, treat credit like it's money you already have. Don't treat it like, oh, it's a loan, because that's when you will falter. Pretty much what that means is, if you're going to use your credit card, make sure you have that amount in your balance at the end of the month so that you pay your balance in full. None of all that minimum balance stuff. That is for people who either don't have it or don't know any better. But typically, if you do have it and you want to use credit well, you want to pay your balance in full every month. A good way to do it is actually set up pre-authorized payments so that way you're not even involved, and then your credit card company will just take out from your checking account the amount you owe them. But use your credit well, and that's a whole video. Pretty much keep your utilization, meaning how much credit you use, under 30%. So for instance, if you have a credit limit of $1,000, you want to use under $300, and that helps you grow your credit. Again, a whole video on how to use credit right. I don't want to take over that conversation, but actually take credit is good. And because I say take credit, also second thing, take credit limit increases. I know when we get all those offers from the bank, we're very wary of the bank. They're out to get us. Our village people have come again. We're trying to either dupe us or scam us into getting into something we can't get out of. No, it's okay to actually increase your credit limit, as long as you know that it's not an avenue to increase your spending or your lifestyle, because that is where they will get you. So if you're really good with money, you're good with budgeting and saving, and you know that you already have good financial habits when it comes to dealing with credit, it makes sense to increase your limit because they're already trusting you. Usually you won't even get those offers if they don't trust you that you can manage credit. Usually when you manage credit well, you get those offers to increase your credit, meaning now that you can use more credit and build your score quicker, right? And all on that point too, it's always good to have a good credit mix. It's not necessary, but it's good. So for instance, if you need to get a car, you can get a car loan, you can have more than one credit card. All of those things help in increasing your credit, but pretty much accept credit limit increases with that caveat of being good and diligent with paying back. The next point, number 3 thing, is budget. Actually budget your expenditures. Put your money on paper. I always say what doesn't get measured doesn't get perfected or doesn't get done. And also, just so you know, only around 49% of Canadian households actually budget, because when you don't put your plan down, you're just, you're literally moving like a blind person in the dark. You're not sure what's going on, you don't know where your money is going, you think you're not spending too much, a lot of times you are. All those $10 coffees, all those subscriptions, they subscribe to everything, all the Netflix, the Prime, all of those things. Usually they're little things, but they add up to a big bunch, and if you don't budget, you don't see those expenditures. I've talked about my savings and budget tips in another video, you should please check it out. But also you can use apps like Mint, or you can start really with an Excel sheet, and I do have the template on my website that you can purchase for a really small amount to help you start budgeting and actually track your finances. It'll be so helpful in whatever goals you have. Do you want to save 5k a year? Do you want to save 10k, 20k, whatever? Once you have that big goal that is smart, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-based, you want to put that to paper and start to budget. Whether you do it manually or digitally, it doesn't matter. It's just advice that you budget early. Good financial habits. Number 4, as much as you possibly can, increase your income. I've seen things like, oh, millionaires are not made from people who work as employees. You don't necessarily have to work towards being a millionaire, but if you can, increase your income. And what that looks differently for different people. If you're supposed to be in the corporate space, that's your calling, what you can definitely do is look for ways to negotiate a raise. So typically in the Canadian corporate space, raises are usually around 2 to 3% increase every year. If you've been diligent with your career, you have good performance results, keep track of those things. That's another thing that's very important. Keep track of your accomplishments at work, because they can help you negotiate a bigger salary increase when the time comes around. And so, or when you ask for it, because I'm a big advocate of asking whether it's a time or not, just making sure that obviously it's a good environment or good time for your boss when you make that ask. But really, that's if you're in the corporate space. If not, if you have some hobbies that you don't mind monetizing, and again, this doesn't mean that all hobbies should be monetized, but if it's something that you're curious about, it's very easy these days to set up a side hustle when it comes to, say, selling physical product or even digital products. You can create a course, you can sell products on Etsy, Shopify, or you can even use already established marketplaces like Facebook, Kijiji, just to list whatever you have. I talked about how I made hair, made butters, things on the side to just give you extra income and floats to supplement your main income. Some people, like, you can also go ahead and just start that company, that idea you've been sitting on for a long time. Yes, I'm talking to you. You've been sitting on that idea for a long time. Just start it. It doesn't have to make money in the nearest bit, but it actually would build your skills and help you make money in another way too. That's another way you can look at those side hustles. And then another way to do that is switch jobs. Yes, you can make 2 to 3% in the current job you are in, but right now, as at the time of making this video, it's a really great time to switch jobs in Canada. There's the great resignation, the great job hopping. People are prioritizing mental health over just working around the clock hamster wheel. So usually I've been able personally to get up to 30% increase in my income or in my salary by job hopping. So if you're interested in job hopping, you're looking for a community or network, my company Immigrants is a good network for immigrant professionals, for you to meet other immigrant professionals, start networking in a bid to find a new career. If you're interested in joining the network of immigrant professionals, it's immigrants.com. Link again in the bio, in the description bio, so you can check that out as well. Number 5, and because I talked about joining communities, the invitation is free for you to join as an immigrant, and because I said that number 5 is actually use free things. A lot of us are very wary of free gifts and benefits and things of that sort. But for instance, one idea that just comes to my head randomly is healthcare is free. So use some of those health benefits that are free. If you don't know, ask. It's always good to open your mouth and just ask. I remember I had, when I was in school, I had this friend that would go get like birth control pills and pay for it. Meanwhile, she went to the family health clinic, those things were free. So that's just an example, weird example, that's just an example of some things that you can use for free. Ask if this is something you have to pay for every time somebody offers you something, but definitely use free things. Bank services have a lot of free things. Your employer has a lot of financial advice professionals as a benefit, so that way, instead of paying for a financial advisor on the side, you can use one from your employer insurance benefits provider. Your bank would sometimes have those advisors for free as well. Just be wary that a lot of times if an advisor is attached to a company, their duty to advertise the product first. So as long as you keep that in mind, but the advice is still going to be advice anyways. So definitely leverage free things. Number 6, invest early. So understand the difference between a TFSA, tax-free savings account, and a registered retirement savings plan. Even though the names say savings in them, they're really actually great investment tools, which the Canadian government has allowed people to start investing their money, and whatever they earn is tax sheltered, typically from the government up until a different time. Usually with a TFSA, it's already tax money you're using anyways. It's just whatever you make, you don't pay taxes on that from your investment. So start investing early. I think if you want me to talk about like my investment journey and how I started and all of that, that would be a whole separate video. But let me know about that. Don't, like, if you're scared about investment, find bite-sized courses, watch YouTube videos, just start. Like when people are like, oh my god, I don't want to invest, just open an account. My friend Kiki, shout out to you, who is my CFO, we usually tell you, if you're interested, the first thing to do is open an account. Usually those things are free. They don't charge you to open an account. And then you take one step, put one foot in front of the other. You can start with $50. You can start $25 and just understand how investment works and use it from a perspective of the long game. Don't try to look at quick wins. And that's a good way to make sure that your retirement is secure. But the next point then, because of investment, is do not invest in things you don't understand. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Do not invest in things you don't understand. There's a lot of times, especially now with NFTs, Bitcoin, crypto, what's the other one, Forex. Those things are really cool, and there's people who are actually making money from it, to be honest. But there's a lot of other people who are losing a ton of money in it as well. Those ones don't make the headlines because about that point you're really feeling bad. So before you put your money in anything, make sure you at least understand it. And that's usually like my gem there. I don't put my money in things I don't understand. If you're curious, take the time to learn about it so that you can explain what happens to every cent when you put it in. The next point then is, because of, I said, do not invest in things you don't understand, seek professional advice. There are free financial advisors. There's lawyers who you can access as well. Check with your employer, check with your library as well. Some local libraries actually have some of these trainings for free. You can just do things like free financial services near me. Call your bank, like I've mentioned, like before you take any of those big steps, or if you're not sure, you're not safe, seek professional advice. Or ask your community, ask people around you who have actually done something like that or who are interested in that space, and start the conversation. On the platform Education, the network, we have these conversations about how people navigate certain things, and you can come in there and ask other immigrant professionals, and I'm sure someone will be able to answer your question. Next thing too is always, like, insurance is a blessing and a curse, but always get insurance. When it comes to life, health, accidental, critical illness, my financial advisor has advised me to get insurance before you start investing, because typically you're one major life ailment or accident away from losing a ton, if not all, of your net worth or savings. And I'm still yet to do it, frankly, but I know it's something, because right now we're not investing crazy, but it's something to definitely look into when it comes to life insurance, critical illness, accidental death, and disability insurance, especially when you have a family, when you have things like a house, that if a partner of yours is sick and can't make it, or you are sick and can't make payments, you don't want to lose your assets because you didn't get insurance. So I know a lot of us from the communities we're from, we're not used to paying for insurance, and so it's always something we're like looking at and figuring out how can we cut corners. Please don't. Obviously negotiate. The last point too is negotiate everything. Like, everything is, that's not, the first price is not always the last price. So what I pretty much, if they come to you with a certain rate, ask about, is this the best offer I can get? Shop around, ask other professionals, ask other companies, this is the best offer that there is for me. When you're looking to take insurance, when you're looking to open any type of account, definitely negotiate everything. Your salary, don't ever take the first offer. If you have a new client and you're an independent contractor, the first offer is never the only offer. Please negotiate, okay? Okay? Are you gonna promise? If you're going to negotiate every offer, every dollar amount that somebody suggests or invoices you, please say I'm in the comments right now. Thank you. And so those are all the points I have for you. But last point, very important. Bonus point number 11 is stay in your lane. What did I say? Stay in your lane. Honestly, like, I feel like for a lot of new immigrants, this is the hard part. Like, it's so hard for you as a human being to not look at the other person and be like, they ball in, I want to ball too. But usually you don't know their bank account. Look at Simon, Twinder Swindler. He was using other people's money, but if you just saw him on the gram, you would really think it was his money. So don't look at what people have, how they flex on the Instagram. Like it's not, those are not real indicators, except somebody shows you their bank statement. And again, using Simon as example, he had what's it called, fraudulent bank statement. So definitely, except you have access to their bank accounts directly, you don't know what people really have or what they own. So just only you know what you're coming from. Like, don't keep up with the Joneses, don't be Beyonce. There's no need for all of that, really. Like, if you think about like the real rich people, like the Elon Musks and all those people of the world, they wear the same shirts, and the Mark Zuckerberg, they wear the same shirts, the same pants. They don't need you to come and look at them and say, oh, they're wealthy, or treat them a certain way. So with that mindset, I usually try to advise people, please just stay in your lane and focus on your own goals. Everybody's going to do their own, we're all on different paths, and God has put us on this earth for different purposes, and yours is yours alone. You're uniquely and wonderfully made. And so those are the top 10 plus a bonus point financial must-dos I have for my fellow immigrants. If there's any others that I somehow missed, I don't know yet, because of course I'm not an expert. I'm still learning and sharing on this journey. Please leave it in the comment. Let's have the conversation. But if you like this video, please like it. If you love it, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.